From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
A chapter comes to a close in the murder case of a 12-year-old West Yellowstone boy. I'm Edgar Cedillo outside the Gallatin County Law and Justice Center, and I'll have updates from Patricia Batts' sentencing hearing.
I'm Jonathan Amberian on the Helena National Forest. As Congress considers whether to extend a temporary pay increase for federal wildland firefighters, I talked to one former firefighter about what impact that increase has already had.
And tonight is the Republican primary GOP debate. Now we're going to break down all that you need to know coming up.
Hard to believe this was once a garden by a famed Butte conservationist. Some people want to make this garden grow again.
Alrighty, it is 6:30 on this Wednesday morning. Good morning, Southwest Montana. Lovely little view outside today. A lot of rain though.
Yeah, we picked up about a quarter inch of rain in Butte since midnight.
Whoa.
And quickly picked up 1/10 of an inch in Belgrade. So there are showers this morning, but they're all moving out. It looks like we're going to be drier for the most part. We do have a few isolated showers. Right now, our temperature is comfortable into the low to mid 50s. We are seeing some warmer temperatures across the area, but really everybody's pretty uniform for the most part this morning with the rain that has fallen. We'll be in and out of cloud cover for the afternoon. A couple of spotty showers are possible, but not an overwhelming chance of shower activity. Daytime temperatures back into the mid to upper 70s and low 80s for most of the area. We do have some hotter temperatures on the way. We'll, of course, break it all down for you in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt. Now, our top story this morning, life without parole. That's the sentence for Patricia Batts for killing her grandson in West Yellowstone back in 2020. MTN's Edgar Cedillo was in court yesterday for the sentence, and he picks up our report.
It was an emotional end to the murder case of 12-year-old Alex Hurley. Tuesday in court, the family of Alex spoke in front of the judge and in front of Patricia Batts as they remembered Alex's life before he was killed. Patricia Batts on Tuesday was sentenced to life in the murder of 12-year-old Alex Hurley, who she was taking care of in West Yellowstone when he was killed back in February of 2020.
Those videos are some of the most horrific things I've ever seen in my now almost 18 years on the bench.
Gallatin County District Court was filled in blue in honor of Alex Hurley as his family read statements directed at Patricia Batts.
You said you will be safe. I will take care of it. And I trusted you. No, I trusted you, Trish. I trusted you. I'm sorry.
3 years after the horrific death of 12-year-old Alex, many in his family are still left wondering as to why he was murdered.
How could you sit back and watch as you'll have a huge hand in your own grandson's life being tortured and taken at such a young age?
Patricia Batts did appear to get emotional as she listened to her family's testimony and as she gave her own statement.
You regret not being the grandmother Alex should have had. To my children and Alex, the last thing I ever wanted to do was fail you.
Alex's mom didn't have much to say in court.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to the court today in consideration of sentencing?
I'm going to leave that as a no, because what I have to say is not very nice, and I'm not going to be rude. I just hope she gets what she gets in jail.
Patricia Batts will now spend the rest of her life at the Montana Women's State Prison. Reporting in Bozeman, Edgar Cedillo, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Edgar. Now, earlier this month, we told you about a proposal in Congress backed by Montana's 2 senators to make a temporary pay boost for federal firefighters permanent. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Amberian spoke to an advocate and former firefighter about how important that increase has been.
When Congress returns from their summer recess next month, they'll have to quickly get to work on budget negotiations ahead of the end of the fiscal year on September 30th. As part of that work, some advocates are still hopeful that they'll move forward on an agreement to extend a temporary pay bump for federal wildland firefighters, set to expire when the new fiscal year begins.
I mean, we certainly hoped that it wouldn't come to this, but it has, and now we need congressional action.
Lucas Mayfield spent 18 years with the U.S. Forest Service, including 12 on hotshot crews. He says pay supplements are making a huge difference for the people doing those jobs now.
I have a wonderful wife and a daughter, but I needed as much overtime and hazard pay as possible within that 5 to 6 month season to make sure that I could pull my weight during the off season and assist in taking care of, mortgage payments, car payments, childcare.
Mayfield now lives in Gallatin County and serves as co-founder and president of an advocacy group called Grassroots Wildland Firefighters. They're urging Congress to pass the Wildland Firefighter Paycheck Protection Act to provide permanent increases to federal firefighters' base pay. In 2021, Congress approved up to $600 million to boost salaries by up to $20,000 or half their base pay. Mayfield says if those temporary increases expire, it'll be a serious hit to the workforce.
And I think you're going to see a lot of people walk out the door.
In the Forest Service's northern region, which covers Montana, northern Idaho, and parts of the Dakotas, they employed 1,444 firefighters as of July 25th. Nationwide, the agency had 11,187 on board. Leaders said that's 99% of their goal for the year. The Forest Service says they're dealing with longer fire seasons and more severe fires, so hiring and retaining firefighters is more important than ever. They said avoiding a pay cliff is imperative to meeting those goals. Mayfield says his group is also advocating for other changes to support firefighters' health and well-being. But for now, this is an important first step.
Is it perfect? No. Is it needed and necessary? And does it have to happen? Yes.
Senators Steve Daines and John Tester are both co-sponsors of the Wildland Firefighter Paycheck Protection Act. We'll see if that policy makes it into any of the upcoming budget discussions. On the Helena National Forest, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
More to follow on that, to be sure. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Now on the national scene, the first Republican primary debate will happen tonight, but without the front runner. Former President Trump has confirmed he will not participate, electing to record an interview with commentator Tucker Carlson instead. But as our Joe St. George explains, that doesn't mean this debate will be meaningless.
Think of Wednesday's presidential debate here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin as the unofficial kickoff for the next phase of the 2024 presidential campaign. After all, we're around 146 days until the Iowa caucuses. We're 196 days until Super Tuesday. And we're over 300 days until Republicans will be back here in Milwaukee and at this arena for the Republican National Convention next July. But a big question is looming over Wednesday's debate. Does it still matter? Do debates still matter? Well, they do as long as people watch. The first Republican presidential debate in the 2016 presidential cycle was seen by 24 million viewers. Holding an in-person campaign event in Iowa or New Hampshire doesn't come close to the audience that a made-for-TV event can bring. Debates have historically been pivotal moments in campaigns. If your campaign is struggling and you have a good night, donations pour in. On the flip side, a bad night can derail a campaign. The presidential campaign of former Texas Governor Rick Perry never did quite recover after he forgot the 3 cabinet agencies he wanted to cut back in 2011.
Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see.
There are, though, plenty of questions about how many Americans, how many voters will actually watch, knowing that former President Trump has decided to skip the event. Mr. Trump continues to have a commanding lead over his rivals. He's up by around 40 points with no sign that he has lost any support following his multiple indictments. But Wednesday's debate does still matter because the race to be the alternative candidate to Mr. Trump going into 2024 is still wide open. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is currently number 2 in the polls, but political newcomer and businessman Vivek Ramaswamy is showing some momentum. Not to mention, some of the candidates on the stage could be auditioning for a vice presidential pick if Mr. Trump does in fact win the nomination. In lieu of participating in this debate, former President Trump has taped an interview with Tucker Carlson set to be released around the debate time. As for Democrats, they're on the ground here in Milwaukee as well, but they're on the airwaves too, announcing a $25 million ad buy in key states like Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin this week. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Milwaukee.
Thank you very much, Joe. Now back here in the Treasure State, growing a legacy. MTN's John Amy tells us about a group in Butte that wants to preserve the memory of pioneering of Butte conservationist Alma Higgins.
Alma Higgins was a Butte resident who achieved fame for her pioneering conservationist work and building beautiful gardens in Butte. Ironically, you have to sift through litter, and overgrown bushes to find her memorial plaque. And some people say that's a real shame to her legacy.
Butte's better than that. She was a part of our heritage, and we need to be building on that heritage, not neglecting it.
Born in Deer Lodge, Higgins moved to Butte with her husband in 1920 and was disappointed at the lack of vegetation in uptown Butte due to the mining. She helped form more than a dozen gardening clubs with about 400 members.
Her philosophy was to restore it one flower box at a time.
In 1962, Butte established a memorial garden in her honor the year after she died, located right next to the Covalite Theater off Broadway. Though it was maintained for decades, it has since fallen into neglect. Sherry Curtis can see what's left of the memorial garden from her window in the Butte Library.
Every time I have volunteers here in the building, when we run out of things to do, we go across there and clean up and pull the weeds.
Curtis hopes to help restore the garden once she gets approval from the city, which owns the land. Higgins also painted flowers and was known nationally for her conservation work.
She also led the effort for the first living Christmas tree at the United States Capitol. At one point they had candles on it and it caught on fire, so the original Christmas tree is not there anymore, but they did replant one.
Butte has a community garden off of East Park Street that many people use to grow flowers and vegetables as a way to honor Higgins.
I think she'd love it, yeah. And we're going to expand the garden, fence that in, and then maybe put some fruiting trees in there.
I just love that, restoring a little bit of history over in the mining city. Never a bad time to do a project like that. Now we're going to take a short break here on Montana This Morning, but when we come back, we're going to have your top headlines. Matt's going to take a look at that forecast for you.